Friday.
Good morning. Welcome once more. So let's start with this lead story right there from the Punch newspaper. I think over the course of the week, this has been a contentious issue and has to do with the list that we saw initially, the prerogative of mercy or the pardon list, as the case is, which the president has been considering. And right now, the headline from the Punch says, "Under pressure, Tinubu may drop controversial names from pardon list." Says the indications are from yesterday that some names on the presidential pardon list approved by the Council of State, presented by the Attorney General of the Federation, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, may be dropped. The development comes amid a growing public outcry about the inclusion of certain high-profile violent offenders among those pardoned by President Bola Tinubu. It seems that there's pressure coming through from different bodies, the public, citizens, even for some government organizations. We hear the EFCC and the NDLA and the likes are complaining about some names that are there on the list. And also yesterday the Attorney General did say that this list is still under consideration. No one has been released yet. Before even that list is made public, before people knew about this, should have been the process before we got to this point. If at all names will be there, let's not even talk about the caliber and category of names that are on that list.
So I think no matter where you stand, this was a very terrible optics for President Tinubu's administration, and I think they felt the pressure, and the fact that the pressure was coming from inside,
yes,
was also one of the turning points. Some people were saying that the people that they had prior conversations to didn't make the list, that some people paid. So these are speculations in the public domain and all that. So I think the president, in some settings, right, this tells you that the buck stops at the president's table, but you have to surround yourself with people who understand their job, who also understand what it means to also position you in the right light. The presidential prerogative of mercy is not something that is carelessly given. It is earned. And the toga of, we are doing it to decongest prisons, didn't sell and cannot sell, because a lot of the people there are people who deserve to be in those prisons. For crying out loud, some of them killed security agencies, some of them sold weapons to militants that led to the death of security agents, and this just tells you that. And a lot of politicians, who, because we rarely see politicians get convicted in this country, and the one or two who deserve to be there were now fled. Now let's look at the prison system as a whole. If the aim was to decongest, Nigeria's prison population is currently stands at 80,000. Our capacity for the prison capacity ordinarily should be 50,000, 50 to 52,000. Awaiting trial is 52,000 according to the prison. So if you really want to decongest the prisons, you will just go and clear awaiting trials list. At least innocent people on the awaiting trials list should come down to 25,000, 30,000. And then you can be dealing with a 50,000 population with alongside the extra 30,000 from the convicted felons. So it doesn't hold water, and I believe this is a sign for the president to put his house in order. He said something at one of his briefings that any minister that is not performing will be shown the way out. And for the Attorney General to release the statement he even released yesterday, you are basically questioning the presidential pardon. If the government has released a statement with the presidency's handle that we are pardoning these people, this number of, and you come out to tell us that no, we have not pardoned them, it's not final, then it means there's a president after the president. So this is just a face-saving mechanism, but I think it's time to look inwards.
Do you think it makes sense to actually publicize the names rather than saying 100?
Sorry to interject, the Attorney General should be ashamed of himself. It's a big disgrace, pardon my French, because there's nothing that is done about pardon that shouldn't go through the Ministry of Justice
first,
because these are people who have already been convicted. And when that list comes, the first thing that you do is to get the Ministry of Justice to go through and come back with a brief for the president to say, oh yes, this is what this is. This is how many people? And then we just come back. Nigerians are going up and down, distracted from the things that should, things that shouldn't distract them, are being distracted by things that I can understand that, okay, yes, maybe the president's prerogative, but anybody who goes on a pardon list, you must have proper documentations to the president to say this is what this person did, and then let him now use his prerogative. For the attorney general to come out and say no, they have not released anybody here, it's a shame. My legal luminaries and my friends, please pardon my friends this morning, but it is a shame, and it becomes even shameful when you say professional bodies, or when we, because it rubs off not just on him, it rubs off on the system. But do we have any? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. You now release the list, and then people are including people in the government.
Yeah.
So how did that list get to Mr. President's table for him to put his signature on it? Maybe the next thing they'll tell us is that they forged the signature.
Names were small.
Usually with Nigerian presidents, you always hear of a cabal. Maybe this is the handwork of a cabal. And it doesn't help that a lot of people are now politicizing this, because the idea is, this man is prepping for 2027. The makeup of the people he's pardoning, they're from a certain demography who will probably provide this and provide that, and this is basically an abuse of a presidential, and for crying out loud, there are cases that actually warrant this presidential pardon. There was a case, I think the case of Sunday, that was killed somebody that came to attack him in his farm, and people have been calling for presidential pardon for the guy,
and his name is not there now.
His name is not there, and the presidency didn't even utter any comment despite international outcry for these persons. There are guys, there was somebody who was recently released from prison who spent almost 20, there were two guys who spent almost 20 something years in prison.
One tall fair guy.
Yes.
Awaiting.
Yeah.
True. No, I think they were even convicted or something.
Of something that
they didn't know.
Yes. I think it was a generator.
So if the attempt really is to reform our prisons, this would have been used rightly. And if you, by the act, I think the Criminal Justice Act of 2015, the Chief Justice is supposed to appoint magistrates that will go to detention facilities to inspect it, I think on a monthly basis. None of these things are being done. The Attorney General owes it to himself to actually make sure that there's proper implementation of the Criminal Justice Act. Because if you, like I said, awaiting trial, it all starts from the police station, DSS detention facilities. Any security agency in this country has a detention facility that should be monitored. Now you even have vigilantes having detention facilities that you can't account for people. A lot of people in Nigeria are unaccounted for. And this is something that should pain people. If you have ever been to a prison, you will know that this thing is not something that anybody should laugh at. There are people who are there just because they came to arrest mother, son was present, they pick son. Until mother comes and mother refused to shoot, son has been in prison. These are the things that the president should be using this to highlight and deal with and send a message down the ranks of the security. Instead, you choose to send the wrongest message to the security agencies.
Yeah, talking about the list itself, 175 persons on this list, convicts and former convicts, as the case may be. After the list is sanitized in this case, do we expect certain names to still remain there?
What's the sanitation that needs to be done? And
what, that's
the crimes of the offenders.
And what sanitary? Is it just sanitizer? Is it soda soap, or is it bathing soap, or do you need Dettol and Izal? Because we shouldn't be here in the very first instance. So what are we sanitizing? We should sanitize a justice system. And every time we talk about the justice system, Joshua has mentioned it, I've mentioned it, I've heard my colleague who comes in on Monday, this is a justice system. It's not the judges or the security agencies, or it is a justice system. It starts from the beginning, from the day you say someone is allegedly committed a crime. That's where the justice system starts from. Even when you say you're going to investigate, that's where the justice system starts from. So the police or the DSS or whoever is going to do an investigation, the thinking must be, when we're doing this investigation and we come up with potential culprits, then we must go through this process, and then it must get to a court of law, and then we must go. That's why you go EFCC. They will arraign people. Today is one charge sheet, then they come back the next week when they adjourn, is a different charge sheet. So what exactly are we? And then the Attorney General comes out and says, oh no, we have not released people. It's a shame. It's a shame to the justice system in this country. This is a country that has gone to build justice systems not only in Africa, across the world.
Zambia.
No. You see, I'm telling you, not only in Africa, even in Asia. So what are we telling the world? That you cannot trust Nigeria's judicial system? That's what we are telling the world. So how do we even now get in? Who was the last Nigerian that appeared in any of the international courts? I saw one the other day. She has just retired. Is a she, and she had been there for a very long time. So what exactly?
And is just trying to push a name for nomination. I can't remember the name. It's after a very long time. The ICJ. No one has been there.
And that's the issue. This is a country that countries wake up and say, you know what? Come and become the Chief Justice of our country, and then set the system right. And we've done it all over the world. All of a sudden, our own justice system is a mockery of itself. Man, it's a shame. It really is a shame.
All right, yeah, that's Tawhid Oluwafemi Elias, Nigeria as a candidate for the UN Principal Judicial Body. Yeah, I know.
To your point about sanitization, I think what will probably happen is they will keep quiet about it, but quietly pardon the people they actually want to pardon, and will not know more about it. So it's a call for investigative journalists to also keep an eye on the prisons. So one journalist did a story about the prison. I think Fisayo did a story.
Yeah.
And what he unraveled there, till today, we still those issues have not been tackled.
Yeah. Right, just to add to what he was saying, no Nigerian has been on the ICJ bench for 30 years. No Nigerian, 30 years. Yeah.
That's quite disappointing. All right, it's disappointing. Very disappointing. That's quite a number of years to not have an international representative.
It's not disappointing. Are you with me? Because there are different criteria for it.
Yeah.
But the fact is, for me, and this is my opinion, it just goes to show you that we don't even think about Nigeria anymore when it comes to judicial precedents. Meanwhile, Nigerians lecture law all over the world. Professors, senior professors, SANs, they go all over the world defending, prosecuting people. This I have no. When I say that we build just judicial systems, it's talking about Africa. I mean, I'm talking about Asia globally. And all of a sudden, we can't. 30 years. Even in Africa, I'm not sure they want to call Nigerian to come and sit on the judicial system.
All right, you can be